So the Spurs have Wemby and De'Aaron Fox, and I know the world was still shaking about the Luka trade, but this is also a trade we should talk about. The thing I love about this situation is the Spurs front office didn't wait. You think about a young LeBron James or even a young Luka, their front offices waited far too long before Luka and LeBron were ready to win, whereas the Spurs recognize that Wemby is arguably a top 10 player already, so why not go all in or even half all in? Key here is they found a lead guard who fits with Wemby's timeline, but is also entering the start of his own prime. In NBA relative terms, a player's prime is between 27 and 29, and De'Aaron Fox is 27 and just starting to scratch the surface. In terms of the fit, I like it. I wish De'Aaron Fox was more of a natural playmaker, but him as a downhill threat scorer will be equally as effective. Just like any dynamic guard and big in the NBA, the two-man game will be a lot of fun. I don't love it for Stephen Castle, who will have the ball taken out of his hands naturally, but all signs point to him still becoming an all-star. I mean, the Spurs did an incredible job here. No Jeremy Sohan, Devin Vassell, or Keldon Johnson included in this deal. The only question I do have is where does this leave Chris Paul? The roster doesn't really need him anymore from a production standpoint, but he can still be really valuable as a mentor. Last and most importantly is this accelerates the Spurs rebuild. Depending on what they do this offseason with draft capital and a bunch of great young players, they could really be a contender next season or at least a top 4 team in the West. Of course, it will all depend on how Wemby and the other young guys develop, but it's hard to imagine that Wemby won't be firmly one of the best players in the world next season. It's crazy to think that this is the worst version of Wemby that we'll see for a long time, and Spurs fans got to be excited about how much winning is in their future.